What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bronx Pinstripe Show. Yankees have won both series they've played so far. 2 for 2. 2 out of 3 each time. On the right track to a 667 winning percentage. How many wins is that? What's quick?
Oh,
Someone
please don't
do math.
do this. Please don't do this.
Do math. What are they on pace for?
108.
Gleyber's on
wins.
pace for
All the
120
stolen bases.
steals.
Yeah, he's going to break Ricky Henderson's record.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Gleyber, I can't wait for the Gleyber I am the best speech.
There's nothing wrong with it. You should.
No,
If you're
what was
stealing this
Ricky's
many
speech?
bags.
I am the greatest. Ricky Henderson, when he stole it, when he broke the record. I am the greatest. Good speech, Ricky.
He is Ricky Henderson. Side note here was one of the more entertaining guys. I wish Ricky Henderson was in the digital social media era, because that guy would have been a lot of fun to listen to. He would have talked a lot. Good stuff. Another series win.
Side tangent on Ricky Henderson. So quick side tangent on Ricky Henderson. Had some underrated years for some shitty Yankees teams. Like in the 80s, like he put up numbers for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Just the Yankees stunk, so it was never really a thing. And he played forever too. I think Ricky Henderson retired in 2000. I think he played.
I think he's still playing actually in
He's played in
independent ball somewhere.
He's probably still stealing 50 bags.
Yeah.
He would love these new rules. Anyway.
Hell yeah, he would. Oh my God. See, that's the thing. You start looking at eras. You get Ricky Henderson with 4.5 inches less, and you can't throw over. My God, he's stealing 200 bags.
The year of the stolen base. All right. So we were just talking about this before we started recording. The Yankees are 9 for 11 on steals this year. Gleyber has 5. He's been caught once. Judge is 1 for 1. Volpe is 3 for 3, and Rizzo is 0 for 1. But 9 for 11. Overall, through the first 5 games of the season, the league was 84 out of 100. 84% they were stealing at, which is an absurd percentage. I mean, did you call it or did you call it? Holy crap, did you call it? I do think teams will start to adjust for it, right? Like this is new. Everything's new. So I think those percentages will probably go down as teams, maybe they do more pitch outs. Maybe pitchers right now are reluctant to throw over to first base because they don't want to use one of their disengagements from the rubber. But if guys are just running wild on them, they're going to have to. Like Cole even picks. Who did Cole pick off today? Cole picked off Turner. Was it Trey Turner? Cole picked off Trey Turner today on a nice quick move. So it's like, I think pitchers maybe have been reluctant to step off and throw over, and you can't just let guys take these massive leads. It's like you can't have 84% of base stealers against you. That's freaking chaos.
It's chaos, but at the same time, it's like yes, there'll be some adjustments, and I don't think 84% is going to stick, but I think it's going to be probably in the high 70s, because I mean, you're mentioning that they can adjust, but there's nothing that can change the distance and the fact that they're going to be able to take bigger leads. There will be some, I still think the catcher is going to get more involved with this, throwing behind the runner at first base to try to keep them there. But man, stealing third base is like the easiest thing in the world. It's so simple at this point.
I don't think the base size is what the biggest driving factor here is. Like obviously the 4 inches.
It's the combination of all of the things.
Most pitchers have been going to almost the end of the pitch clock, right? Like you see a pitcher throw within the last 3 seconds of the pitch clock. That's basically a traffic light, right? Like for the base runner, it's basically he's getting the green light to go. It's like you're sitting at an intersection and you're anticipating it. You're looking over there to see when that thing flashes to yellow. Okay, I'm ready to go. That's basically what's happening.
But they don't have to throw the ball at that point. They just have to start their motion. So I mean, you're going to see a lot more guys holding. You see what Scherzer did the other night, where Scherzer is up there, just he will hold it. And then as soon as the ball got back to him, or the batter called time, as soon as he called time, he got out of his motion and then went back to being set, so that as soon as he stepped in, he was ready to go. You're going to see more manipulation from the pitchers, I think, because once you start it, you can stay in that set position now, and you can mess with the timing. And depending on if the batter has a step out, if he has a timeout, then he can use it or not. But if he doesn't, now the pitcher's in complete control. So
right.
I think you're going to see more of that, and it's gonna drive some people back. But the thing is like you're still going on motion almost, because he's not going to throw over, so you can hold the ball for 10 minutes. I'm still going to go on first movement, or be a little bit more aggressive with the way that you're delivering the ball to home plate. It's still such a huge advantage for the base runner. Oh, and by the way, 4.5 inches shorter, which is hell on the catchers because they're just getting screwed.
Catchers have no chance. You can't
right.
look at. It's like I feel bad for these catchers. Like you can't hold this against them. This is being and it's not even necessarily being stolen against the pitcher. It's literally being stolen because of the rules.
Yeah, but it is being stolen off the pitcher because the catchers don't have a chance. I mean, these guys have like massive jumps.
And the rest of the rule changes, or the rest of the impact from the rule changes, has been massive. There was an article posted in The Athletic actually interviewing Theo Epstein. He did a Q&A because he's kind of been like the rule czar about all of this stuff. Games so far down 25 minutes from average 3 hours 3 minutes last year to 2 hours and 38 minutes. 25 minutes is like a massive improvement.
What was it? It was around that, wasn't it, for minor leagues? I think
it was around 25. Yeah, 25 minutes was about what was anticipated to be cut off. I think through the first weekend of games it was like closer to 30 minutes or maybe even over 30 minutes, but I think through 5 games it was 25 minutes, which I'm sorry, 25 minutes over the course of 162 games is really huge. That's like such a big improvement.
Yeah, it's huge. Before you go to the next thing, I just thought of something. Actually, I have a question because I'm not sure about this one. They test everything in the minor leagues. I know we'll talk about that for a quote on like robo umps, but in the minor leagues for the pitch clock, they tested it for a long time, but they never had the bigger bases, did they? The bigger bases is new. So this is the first time we're seeing pitch clock and bigger bases together.
The bigger bases was a safety thing, though, I thought.
No, I know, but I'm just saying like that. So the data on the pitch clock in the minor leagues for stolen bases and such is just
for stolen bases specifically.
Yeah. So now we're seeing pitch clock and the bigger bases, which I think that was why I was going to like they're going to be even more.
Do you know what the good thing about like this too is probably breaking all the analytics nerds' brains. They're just like sitting there, just like fume. They're just like steam coming out of their ears, like trying to crunch the numbers fast enough because like,
someone put a quote in here. This is a great quote from Manfred. Manfred quoted over the weekend: "Analytics weren't worth the damage they caused to the sport."
Yeah, that was from a Jason Stark article on The Athletic.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty big. So I mean, Manfred obviously gets shit on. I don't like. I think Manfred is his own worst enemy. I think he's just said a lot of stupid things.
Yeah.
I think him, I mean, if we want to say it's him, like whoever it is, like all of the people responsible for making these rule changes and kind of doing it against what like players wanted in a lot of instances. I think he's going to be remembered fondly for that specific thing.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's been a week, but I haven't seen too many people shitting about it. If people are getting all upset about this stuff, it's about little nitpicky things, or they're just cranky and will always be cranky. So, but the majority of people that I'm seeing is like, it's good. There's some adjustments, yes, but it's good. It brings back baseball to what baseball was, which is making me happy.
So bigger bases were used in the minors last year.
They were. Okay.
A couple other quick things. I definitely recommend reading that Q&A Theo Epstein did with The Athletic. It was a little bit of a long read, but there was some good stuff in there. Some other takeaways I took from that are he did not say no outright when asked if the pitch clock might be removed for the playoffs. So that was interesting because, we talked about that last episode and you were like, no, you can't do that. And I generally agree. You can't do that. That would be a big change. Yeah. But he didn't say no. So maybe there would be something where the pitch clock is adjusted or something like that. And then on robot umps, he just sort of alluded to the fact that it will likely be a few more years if it ever happens. Because if you think about, he used the example of the pitch clock was first introduced at the low level minors in 2015. So that's 8 years before it reached Major League Baseball. And ABS, which is the automated ball strike system, was just rolled out to all 30 AAA parks this season. So it was in the minors, I think a year or two ago. I think 2021 was the first year that it was in the minors. So following a similar pattern, robot ups might not come until 2027 or 2028 or 9 or something like that.
They're going to make damn sure that the percentages are significantly higher where it makes it worth it. That's to me the bigger thing. If you have robo umps, I just still think that whether robo-umps come or not, there will be a man or a woman standing behind home plate doing something.
Yes. There will be, because they're
scratching their ass, because they're not going to really serve a big purpose.
Batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, and batting average on balls in play are also all up. So, just to the shift, but also to the fact that the pitch clock is now forcing pitchers to throw quicker. So they're not throwing max effort every single time. And we already talked.
It goes the other way though too. Batters have to be ready, and it's out of their comfort zone. It's out of their normal cadence of being prepared to hit. So it's not just on pitchers.
We talked about that with the Bleacher Blums guys when we did the Astros and AL West preview, which that episode went up Wednesday. We're recording this Wednesday afternoon. That episode went up Wednesday, so go check that out. A lot of good stuff. I mean, Blum played 14 years in the majors, so yeah, he obviously knows what he's talking about. We talked extensively about how that's going to impact things. All right, let's get into some stuff that we saw this series. We can start with Monday. Gleyber. Let's start with Gleyber, because he had a big series. Hit his 100th career home run on Monday night. That took him 580 games, 7th fastest Yankee. I was looking at his numbers. 62 home runs through his first 1,088 plate appearances, which is 1 home run every 18 plate appearances. And then he hit his next 38 home runs. It took him 1,265 plate appearances, which is 1 out of every 33 plate appearances. So obviously the pace in 2018, 2019 has not continued for him to reach the 100 home run mark.
Thanks. I was really expecting him to get to that point. Look, he's off to a great start. It's good. There's been there was swirling speculation in people talking about the game, people talking about the Yankees. I don't know how much of it was real or how much of it had to do with actual conversations that were happening from Cashman, but he was under a microscope, and because of the young guys that were coming up at shortstop position, and understanding that second base might be an option for them as well. So, he's performing well, and I'm happy about it, because when he's good, man, his bat's good. We all know how that bat can be when he's on. So I'm glad he's getting off to a good start.
He's also hitting a different spot every single time that he's played. He's hit first. He's hit where was it? I just was looking at it. He's hit first, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth in the lineup so far. And Boone was quoted. He was asked about this, and he said that his approach this year is that instead of shifting everybody around in the lineup as guys rotate in and out of the lineup, he's just keeping everyone where they are, and Gleyber's been the floater.
What does that tell you? Yeah, what does that tell you? Does he have the utmost confidence in Gleyber to hit in any spot, and he can make adjustments based on different situations, or everybody else is like set in their way, and Gleyber just hasn't been fazed by being moved around as much?
Well, first of all, I'm impressed Gleyber has not been fazed by it. Good kudos to Gleyber, because I would not have picked him as the guy you can just move around willy-nilly. Right?
Well, you couldn't do that in the field. It was a different situation. You're still walking up to the plate and doing the same thing with the bat.
You know how players are about where they're hitting in the lineup. Some guys, it's like you hit 8th and then you're comfortable at 8th. There's no pressure at the 8th spot, and then the manager's like, "Okay, kid, get up there. You're batting 5th now." And you're like, "Oh shit, what do I do?" It's like, for whatever reason, that's happened. Like when Gleyber was moved up to, what year did he start the season hitting 3rd, and he got off to a terrible start? Was that 2020 or was that 2019?
2019. No, he was good in 2019. No, it's 2020.
So it must have been 2020. He started the year hitting 3rd, and he was terrible.
Well, it's COVID. It doesn't count. You just erase that entire year.
What does it tell me? I think that it tells me about the lineup that, their approach that they're taking. They know every night there is going to be, every game there's been a different lineup. Guys have rotated in. The second base and the third base spot are spots to rotate. The outfield right now is a fluid situation. And then we saw DJ playing first base when Rizzo got the day off. So that's a lot of spots that you have to be rotating on a daily basis. And I think just for simplicity's sake, it's just, you pencil everyone into their spot, and it's like, okay, this one guy is going to be going up and down. I really think that's what it boils down to.
You still have to make sure that one player, like, oh, I mean, I think that's a confidence boost. Honestly, if I'm Gleyber, I'm looking to be like, all right, you have the faith and confidence in me that I can do this. Whereas, maybe some other guys cannot and should not. But I have the flexibility at the plate to do that. I can shorten my swing and be a leadoff, even though I don't love him at leadoff. But and then and he's been going the other way too. You're seeing these home runs go to right field. So middle of the field approach, Cameron Maben. We need to make a t-shirt, middle of the field approach, because it's so true.
Now you can actually do that and not have the second baseman there or the shortstop there.
Yeah, that's true. Now it's a base hit. And they get rid of him on the year that it's a base hit. That's bullshit. Cameron Maben deserves to be saying it. He's probably sitting on where is he doing the Cubs? Whatever that
Cubs games.
What's that company? I forget the name of it. Anyway, he's out there doing middle of the field approach. Ian Happ.
He's middle of field approaching in the middle of the country. So someone I tweeted out today that Gleyber has hit in all of these spots every single day, and someone responded, it's like, what? They can't just try out the best lineup every day? Would that just be too simple? I'm like, okay, guy, it's April 5th, and we're complaining about the lineup, but it got me thinking. What is optimal lineup for the Yankees right now? Because I don't know. It's not an easy answer.
No, because there are a lot of guys that you could shift. I can tell you what I like my. No, I think I think your top four is pretty clear on who they are. It's DJ, it's
top
Judge.
Four. Yes.
And then from there, you could definitely go a lot of different ways because you're getting.
Here's what I came up with.
You're getting some similar things.
DJ at second, Judge in center, Rizzo at first, Stanton in right, Gleyber at DH, Donaldson at third, and I know Donaldson came out of today's game with a hamstring issue. Trevino at catcher, Cabrera in left, Volpe at shortstop. I feel like that
wasn't that opening day.
I think that was
roster?
The opening day lineup.
That was the opening day lineup. Yeah,
I think that was the opening day lineup. So that's what I came up with. Do we have an update on Donaldson? Because I know he came out of the game and we were talking about it could have been a calf, could have been a hamstring.
Basically, it was a hamstring. Meredith Marakovits reported they're going to image tomorrow, but Boone said he doesn't think it's that severe.
Okay. IKF went in at third base and promptly made a bad throw. It's like the second batter he was playing third base, he made a bad throw.
It was a hit, wasn't it?
It was a hit, but a good throw gets it. A good throw gets it.
It was a hit.
It's like, bro, right? You win the Gold Glove at third base.
Yo, you guys are crazy. This dude's playing center field. He could play second base, shortstop. He goes in for a freaking injury. Who knows when the last time he took a ground ball from third base?
Yesterday.
Totally different throw.
Should be taking ground balls at third base every day.
Holy shit! Yeah, he's making throws to the cutoff guy from center field. Now he's coming in and makes a God. Yeah, he's got to get used to this utility thing, but he can do it.
I wasn't even mad.
He hasn't even gotten a hit. What a piece of shit. He still has hitless on the season, isn't he?
I mean, he hasn't been
what a piece of shit. I still like him.
Yeah, I still like
the flexibility of him.
I thought it was funny. Is all. I just thought it was funny. Going back to that game on Monday, that was Nestor Cortez's first start of the year. Obviously, we were a little worried about how he would come back from the injury he was dealing with in spring training, but he looked pretty good. He got 11 swings and misses. I thought he kept the Phillies hitters off balance. He struck out struck out 3, allowed 7 hits over 5 innings, just 1 earned run. And there was, he did get bailed out a little bit because Philly was also threatening in the 5th inning. But then when Franchi made that overthrow and Cortez backed up behind home plate and got Marsh at third base.
Yeah, that was a great play.
Maybe that inning could have been worse, but all in all, good first start from Nestor.
Every kid watching that sees it and sees the pitcher backing up home plate. Textbook. Yeah. And that's what he does, though. Like, the beautiful thing about Nestor is that he's able to get kind of in and out of trouble. I mean, he does, for most cases, pitches to contact. He's not afraid of contact at all. He thrives on changing the speed, changing the eye pattern for the guys at the plate, throwing them off in any ways. Did you see
I was excited. Well, go ahead.
The social media team, the Yankees, where they had everybody in the tunnel doing Nestor's
do their best Nestor.
Yeah, that was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It was funny.
I was excited to see how Nestor would pitch with the pitch clock, and then I realized, Oh, this is just kind of how he's always pitched. He's always been a quick worker. Like, it's not impacting him one bit. That's why I liked him. That's why I always liked him so much, because he was a fast worker.
So do John and Susan.
Yeah. Oh, John and Susan love the pitch clock.
Love them. They love the pitch clock. I haven't listened to them talk about it yet, but I know that they love it.
I was listening.
This might buy
Saturday.
John another 2 years.
Yeah. I was listening Saturday to the first half of the game because it was like just all of a sudden 80 degrees outside. So it's like, okay, let's go in the backyard, Harrison. Let me do some yard work while you run around. And I was listening to John and Susan and opining about how the rule changes are benefiting.
Yeah. I mean, that's the we knew that they would love that years and years and years ago.
So in the Tuesday game, there was a key situation after Herman came out. Herman was fine, I guess. He gave up 2 home runs early. Not much damage after that. He did have the 2 extra runs charged to him in the 5th inning. But King comes in and gets a soft ground ball up the middle, and Volpe, I keep saying Volpe
Thank you.
for some reason. Volpe was going to turn 2 with his foot on the bag as he was fielding the ball, but he kind of got in between, right? He kind of maybe overran the ball, had to go to the backhand. It hopped up on him, hit off his heel. And so he could only get the 1 out. That would have been an inning-ending double play, kept the game at a 2-run game. Instead, King let the inning snowball. His velocity was down as well in that. We'll talk about that in a second. But King gave up those 2 extra runs. They were Herman's runs. And the game kind of got out of hand 4-0. Volpe, I thought, on the one hand, it's like, bad play. You could have got out of the inning there. But the one thing I did like about it, he kept his foot on the bag and picked up the ball, because I feel like a lot of guys would panic in that situation. A lot of kids in that situation, they bobble a ball, they would panic and their foot would come off the bag and they'd get no outs.
Yeah. So you're saying he had at least the stick-to-itiveness to commit to get that second.
He had the awareness.
First out. Get the first. You got to get the lead runner. Yeah.
Right. He had the awareness to keep his foot on the bag to get while he's picking the ball up. And who knows? Maybe that was accidental, right? Maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm loving Volpe too much.
No, I mean, look, he's fundamentally sound. The kid knows you got to get the lead runner. Everybody knows. You obviously the play is to turn 2, but you get the lead runner first and foremost. Like, you have to get the lead runner, no doubt. Like that's fundamental baseball. So I don't know if you caught the post game interview with him, but my God, man, I feel so terrible when I hear him talk about it, because he's so genuinely upset that he screwed something up, and he has such like a soft voice. He sounds like such a kid, and he's like, like his parents are like shaming him for doing something terrible, and he's like, yeah, I know. I should have gotten that. That's on me. Like, the way that he talks is just so. It's like an innocent kid coming up and playing with all of the adults, so like with the big boys, and like he's out there and he's like let his entire team down, and he feels it, because you can feel it through his words. It's funny because I'm noticing that with him. If this was a free agent that did that, eviscerated. I don't want to hear you're whining like a little bitch, but it's Volpe who's come up. I genuinely feel like
he's on Cole like, for his Kermit the Frog voice, and now you're not.
Yeah, I do.
Volpe for his little kid voice.
Yeah, well, Volpe has a little kid voice because he's a little kid
because he's 21 years old.
he's got such just that innocent, like, really, you could tell that it really bothered him, like, down to his core.
Well, that's the
and
first.
That he probably calls his parents and talks about it for like an hour on the phone afterwards.
That's the first mistake he's made. Like, striking out's not a mistake. Like, shit,
right.
Whatever.
It's part of the game.
That's the first mistake he's made.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought it was funny just hearing him as a, very new guy to the scene, feeling absolute remorse for not getting a double play and also letting down the team because 2 more runs scored.
It was a big situation. I mean, if we take a step back here, that's a big situation, because you get out of that and it's 2-0. That's a different game. I know the Yankees bats did nothing. They only got the 1 run on DJ's homer in the 9th, but it's like, if that's a 2-0 game in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning, that's a completely different vibe.
And he was accountable. And again, however you're doing it, just be accountable. Be accountable for the mistakes that you made, and boy, was he accountable. So,
speaking of accountability, Aaron Hicks.
Yeah,
Aaron Hicks was booed
again
loudly. He was booed loudly when he struck out in the 5th inning on Tuesday.
Yes,
he
was.
Then they showed Judge in the dugout going over to him, rubbing.
It was like it was
back.
kind of like I'm walking by him and a little tap. It wasn't a lot. Judge really didn't. He was just walking by him.
He had to console him. He had to play. He had to put his captain hat on. There's so many articles written about like Judge puts his captain hat on for the first time to console Aaron Hicks. It's like Jesus Christ, guys. But anyway, Hicks was definitely gonna be pinch hit for it if he came up as the tying run in the ninth inning with Rizzo, obviously. But there was more quotes on Hicks's playing time. He said, "I have no idea what my role is. It's kind of uncertain. I just want to play. I don't want to come off the bench and face closures." Oh, did we said that quote? We already read that quote.
We knew this quote, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought this was a new quote. But anyway, so that's not a new quote. He did end up playing.
I was gonna say if he said it again and started talking about I don't know what my role is and like doubled down on that, like this guy's got some serious problems here. He's all in that. He's just doubling down on the Woods family at this point. He's gone.
He did play 2 days in a row. He didn't play well. We heard, or I think Logan, you read it. I think the part about I don't want to come off the bench and face closers all day, but I have no idea what my role is. Like, isn't it clear what your role is? Like, your role is the fourth outfielder. Your role is to play a few times a week.
It's a platoon. I mean, the whole outfield is changing. It has been changing. So you're one of the outfielders that will get rotated in.
Yeah.
It's not unclear. I think he's a little distracted. It's Masters week. You know, you got to give him some time. Okay. He's probably watching the practice rounds. Probably has some
Tiger's playing. He's got some family. He's got to go.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of pressure. A lot of things.
He wants those.
About.
He's like, I wish I was at Augusta getting those.
Jim Nance is just talking in his head. Yeah. Hello, friends.
Did you know the Masters theme song has lyrics? I heard the Masters theme song, like the actual song, and it's got lyrics, and I didn't know that.
Like it continues and it has lyrics?
Yeah, there's a whole.
Isn't it custom for the?
No, I thought so. Nope, there's lyrics.
Is it like a church hymn?
I don't know. I was like listening to it. I'm like, wait, this song has lyrics? Like they never get that far. CBS never gets that far.
Is it Michael McDonald?
I don't know who it is. Anyway, that was a good joke. It's Masters week for Aaron Hicks. And then today's game, Gerrit Cole was good again. He did get pulled and had a little pitch clock situation where it was a 3-2 pitch and he was shaking off Trevino. They couldn't agree on the sign and the clock was running. And before Trevino could stand up to call timeout and use a mound visit, the pitch clock ran out. And so it was a walk, and that ended up being Cole's third walk. And so there's more adjustments that they're going to have to learn. It's like if you've shaken off twice, just like at that point, step off, because you should know, like the same way an outfielder knows how many steps he has before he hits the wall. As a pitcher and a catcher, you should know, like you should start to get a feel for how much time is left on the clock based on like how many times you've been shaken off and that sort of thing. And I feel like that'll come for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, you're going to see this, and you know we talked about this before we started. Like they're really enforcing these rules early, which they did in spring training as well. And I agree, they should. It's one of those things that they're going to have to get used to. I was asking the Cole using pitch comm. So that's a potential thing that he can be using if this becomes an issue for him. If this is something that becomes, you know, more of a problem and he thinks it's affecting what he's doing, that's a way to speed things up. Like you're not shaking anybody off at that point. You know, you're doing it.
No. Trevino uses the pitch comm to call it, and so the signals that Trevino.
But he could call it if he wanted to. No.
Yes, he could. Pitchers are calling the game. Ohtani calls his own game. I don't know if you saw that. Ohtani wears it in his shirt.
He does everything else. Why wouldn't he call his own game?
But apparently he wears it in his shirt. And he memorized where the buttons are. So he reaches into his shirt and he presses. He's a fucking freak, that guy.
He's a prodigy, dude. He's like Beethoven for baseball.
It's insane.
Yeah. It's nuts. It really is. Like, so, you know, I really hope everybody doesn't take that guy for granted because he's ridiculous.
God, he's going to get like $100 million a year.
He's a $500 million contract. I'm just so happy that Judge won the MVP last year because he's never going to get it again.
Well, we were joking. It's like Judge had to literally break the American League home run
did.
record to get it. And so if Judge hit 58 home runs last year, he might not have won the MVP.
I mean, he had such a dominant offensive year that it was a very, it's usually an offensive award, right? But when you have a guy that's doing something that hasn't been done before, you can't look past it. And even though his numbers aren't like Cy Young, you don't have to be the MVP and the Cy Young to win MVP as a pitcher and a hitter. He's a freak. But he's not even that. He's a very good pitcher too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What are you more surprised at? Like thinking back to when we were talking about, the Yankees going to go after Shohei Ohtani. He's a two-way
I'm very surprised he's still pitching. I did not think he was going to pitch. That's what I said.
Because he had that injury. Didn't he have the injury in his first year?
Yeah, I figured it would be an experiment, and then they would just okay, you're too important. We need you to hit.
Yep. That's what I thought too.
But the Angels need pitching bad every year.
Oh boy, is it amazing. Speaking of amazing, Shady Rays. We've been telling you about that amazing sunglasses company. It's a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair that you're going to find. The frames are super durable. The lenses have extremely clear optics, which are perfect for outdoor activities. Watching baseball games in the hot sun, golf, or beach, or going to the beach. Everyone has probably lost a pair of sunglasses in their life. Scott, why don't you tell a story about one time you lost or broke a pair of sunglasses?
So I didn't have my Shady Rays on me today. I wore them. I wore them yesterday, and they were in the car that Bevan was driving. So I had an old pair of a different pair of sunglasses, and in fact, I smashed the lens today. If they were Shady Rays, I'd be able to get a new pair, but now I cannot. So those sunglasses will be coming with me in every car.
I don't think people realize how awesome that is as a perk. If you break your sunglasses, you just get a new pair.
It's huge.
That's massive. And if you don't like them, you can exchange them for free within 30 days. And it's like, remember the Seinfeld bit? It's like, why are you returning this? For spite. You could return something for spite to Shady Rays, and they'd be like, cool, okay. Shady Rays is giving their best deal to our listeners. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code Bronx for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Summer is coming up, so now's the perfect time to do that. Go check them out. Again, shadyrays.com, promo code Bronx, 50% off 2 or more pairs. Thank you to Shady Rays for sponsoring us. What were we talking about before that? Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani and how unbelievably phenomenal he is.
Yeah, so so the situation with Cole and the pitch com, that's when he was pulled. But the Yankees got out of the inning, and then Trevino hit the insurance 2-run homer to give them a bit of a lead. And Holmes looked good in the ninth, which I think is key because I think the bullpen has underrated, been a little iffy so far this year. Like King has not looked good. I mentioned his velocity is down. I saw there was his velocity on Tuesday night was clocked at 93.8 miles an hour versus last year's fastball averaged 96.4 miles an hour. So almost 3 miles an hour lower. He said that is not due to the elbow injury. That's mechanical. And Matt Blake said, yes, it's mechanical. So they got to get his mechanics in shape. But King has not looked great. Holmes didn't look good in his first outing. I think, the bullpen, especially with a few injuries, is a little bit of a concern. So it was really good to see Holmes lock that save down.
I will say this: it's mechanical, and it's not because the elbow hurts, but the injury could certainly affect your mechanics, which then it does go back to the elbow at some point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not directly affected because it's sore or because I'm doing a particular thing that I can't do because my elbow won't allow me to do that. But when you have that much time off and things are different, you're getting back to getting to your good mechanics, you're very well off because of the injury. So it's a matter of him being able to find that arm slot, to find that grip, to find the things that got him at such high early success last year. And I hope he can refine it, obviously, because he was such a massive part of that Yankees first half. And it would be a goddamn shame if we can't get it back to him. But he came back really fast, so we'll see.
He did. So what really that means is it's not because of the injury, meaning I'm not still injured, right? Like he's healthy.
Right. Exactly.
And it's like, yes, maybe his mechanics are off because of the injury, but there's still no damage to the elbow. Like that's really what that means.
Exactly. But again, that's exactly what I was saying. It can still affect your mechanics.
A couple other notes from today's game. So Judge has now a 39 game on base streak. He had a hit in the first inning, ended up stealing a base. That was his first stolen base of the year. And then he scored on a broken bat single by Gleyber. But 39 on base streak, I think it's the longest streak I saw a graphic on since like Mark Teixeira did it in like 2010 or something like that. So it's been a while since a Yankees had that kind of streak. Yeah, and also, how do you feel about the streaks going back to last year? Because, like, do you remember Jimmy Rollins 10 years ago or whatever had like a 40-something game hit streak, but it was over the course of 2 seasons? That shouldn't count.
I agree. I don't like it. It's pretty stupid, actually. You literally had months and months and months, and then games that you played in games that didn't count. Spring training. You played
you played playoff games and didn't get on base.
You became the captain of the New York Yankees. You became you
went ham on your eyebrows.
You went ham on your eyebrows. It should not count. No, these should be in-season streaks. We could talk about it as if it's there. So like that's the thing. It's not like it's a streak that anybody's looking at and being, that's highly touted in baseball statistics necessarily, but it's something to mention that he has been on because it is a fact. It is a fact. Regular season games.
It's a fact. In 39 consecutive regular season games, he's reached base. Cool.
What about the playoffs?
Exactly.
So playoffs breaks it right there, but we don't consider that. No, it's dumb.
So like if and when someone ever sniffs Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hit streak and it is not in one consecutive season, I'm calling bullshit on that record.
Well, you should. I think that's completely fair.
Another moment in today's game that a lot of people probably didn't notice, but I noticed, and I was proud of Cole for, is that the ump missed a very clear strike 3 call in the second inning to Bryson Stott. The pitch was like literally right down the middle. Cole was walking off the mound. Trevino stood up, and it was just called a ball. There was a few more pitches, foul-offs, and then he ended up giving up a double down the left field line on a pitch out of the zone, right? So that is a 2-out double. And I'm thinking, oh boy, here comes a meltdown. Here comes a 2-run bomb or something, some sort of meltdown, right? But no, he just got the next guy to tap out to the second baseman. And I did a golf clap for our guy Gerrit.
Good. We need to see more of that. Keep the haircut tight. Keep it tight. No distractions. And bounce back, because that definitely was part of him and his struggles, and all of those bunches of home runs that had multiple people on base. Usually something bad happened right before it, or something not even that bad, but frustrating for him. And then
frustrating.
It felt like it carried over, whether it did or not, whether that's just a fan looking at this guy saying this thing happened and then another thing happened. And I'm seeing a pattern, but yeah, nip it in the bud.
Because I know exactly what would have happened, right? Like he gives up a couple runs there, and then everyone's just blaming the umpire and ignoring the fact that Cole couldn't just get the next guy out, right? And it's like, yeah, should he have been out of the inning? Of course, he should have been out of the inning. Everyone acknowledges that, but that does not then excuse what could have come after that. And that's where it's like you and I have had our frustrations with Cole in the past.
But now he's clean cut. He's like back to like
clean cut.
Pittsburgh Pirates, Gerrit Cole, looking like a spry chicken in the league. I like it. I like what I see. I like what I see a lot from him right now. He's controlling the games, and that's what we need from this man. We need, if he takes the ball in the 7th inning and lets up a run or two, after guys are hitting him around, and it's not like so be it. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. But he feels like he's in control. Right now it feels like he's in control. And if I see him going deeper into games, like, good. I want that to be consistent.
And it was a gross day. Like it was misty. It was cold. It was raw. It was probably miserable to be playing today and miserable to be pitching. So, didn't let that stuff get to him. Like, I'm not even being sarcastic. People might think I'm being sarcastic, right? Like, no, that's actually like, I was impressed. Like, good job.
Yeah. Because usually not.
Yeah. Yankees are going to Baltimore for Baltimore's home opener. Thursday game has already been postponed, which also love. Thank you for doing it 24 hours in advance. very cool. I'm not going to the game, but if I were going to the game, I definitely would appreciate that. Yankees would make you show up, buy the now $25 chicken buckets, and then send everybody home.
It's a different story when you're in Baltimore. You got to get people to the place. You don't want to put anything in question.
This is their home opener against the Yankees. This thing is going to be jam packed.
Yeah.
And the Orioles obviously have had a surprisingly good season last year, so there's some optimism there. I talked to Eric RDT of Barstool Sports for the Orioles preview that came out on Tuesday of this week. So if you guys are interested in checking that out on tomorrow's off day, go do so. The Orioles
and real quick, they should be excited because this is not a team that's going out there and just sucking. Like there's hope, and you're also not. There's probably not a ton of hope that they're going to do they could surprise some people and squeak into a playoff. Like it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the entire world. They have the talent. They young.
Were 3 games out of a playoff spot last year.
That's the thing. Like if you're a fan of the Baltimore Orioles, you're looking at this group and you're like, okay, if they get there, great. But you know what I want to see? I want to see these young guys play. I want to watch them develop. And I'm like in it now because there is a true commitment to what we're doing. There's a plan. And I feel like that's what fans are looking for. They just want to know a plan. They just want to make sure that there is one in place and not just be all over the place like the Colorado Rockies.
But they're also seeing the plan come to fruition. They have the number 1 ranked farm system. They just called up Grayson Rodriguez, who's their top pitching prospect, one of the top pitching prospects in all of baseball. He pitched today against Texas, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. I think Baltimore lost the game, but again, there's some positivity.
Jorge Mateo is going to steal 112 bags.
Exactly. I thought Kay made an interesting point on the broadcast today. So the reason they sent Johnny Brito down, which another thing you mentioned on the last episode, was because they had was supposed to be a Friday off day. So now without that, I know there's still an off day, but it's still going to be consecutive days. Wondering if Brito gets a call up. Have they announced anything on that yet, guys?
Boone said that Schmidt is starting on Friday. He's in line.
Clark Schmidt's starting Friday for the Yankees, okay, and Brito's starting in AAA on Friday.
Brito's starting in AAA Friday. They can't call Brito up for 15 days, though, the rule is, after they sent him down to AAA. So Boone said it's going to probably be like some sort of bullpen day, probably.
On Saturday?
At some point in this stretch. They're good.
They play
Schmidt.
How many days in a row? Don't they not have a day off until April 17th or something like that?
Yeah, it's a while.
Which is why I don't know why they sent him down in the first place.
It's strange that they did. I mean, they might. It's probably just going to be. It's 1 start. It turns out to be instead of 2 is kind of why they did it. I think.
It does put them at a disadvantage though if they're not able to throw a starter on a particular day. Sorry, Leo.
Hamilton had that opt out coming up.
Yeah, so that is true.
They wanted to get him up.
That's a good point.
Okay.
We should talk about Hamilton and his what's the pitch called?
Slambia?
Slambia.
Say it.
Someone Bevan's company's name is Cambria. No, that's why I was going to say it. It's confusing for me. Okay, what am I saying? It's a change up. Okay? Let's all just call it something. It does look different. He throws it differently. So the fact that I saw the article, read some of the article about, I think it was a NorthJersey.com article about him and the fact that he's been on a number of teams and teams have tried to change the things that he does. And the Yankees are like, do you, bro? Do you throw that thing? They want to see it, and he's throwing it.
So yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. It is important, though, that, yes, he had the opt-out, but he does have an option, so they can send him down.
Yeah.
But did they have to call him up?
They had to put him on the 40-man and put him on to not lose him. But
I mean, is Ian Hamilton and his freaking Slambino pitch really that important?
Slambino?
I mean, look, it's the Yankees when they get a body that they don't want to lose.
Well, and that's the thing. They like the pitch. They like what he's done, and he's been very successful with it. So if you think you have something there that can be even more, and look, don't mess with the Yankees and finding relief pitching out of absolutely nowhere. They've done it in spades. Yep. That's probably the one thing that they've done the most consistent over the last 10 years.
Has been best at identifying bullpen talent.
So, all right, let's see what happens. If we have to miss one start, and maybe he's thrown in that, maybe that pitch is gonna get 2 to 3 innings. Who knows?
Yeah, but
in the game that Brito's supposed to start,
you can't just live off a changeup. You gotta have a fastball to go along with it.
He can changeup up in the zone. It's the best strikeout in the world.
The high changeup. No one expects the belt high changeup.
I love the changeup up in the zone. It just makes you look foolish.
Gets him every time, one time only, and then
it's a great pitch. It's a great pitch. You just have the balls to throw it.
Another interesting thing I saw this week. Did you see Anthony Rizzo spent $15,000 on wine for his teammates? What a match!
Now that's per teammate, right? That's a per teammate number or total?
Total.
Okay.
Freaking nut. Were you fucking kidding me?
You know, if he's doing it for like particular teammates,
he's getting $15,000 in wine for Ian Hamilton in the Slambino?
Well, I would just assume it doesn't go to every single one. If I'm thinking about it in that way, not that much.
That was gonna be my take as well. It's like, bro, you're worth like $100 million.
Yeah.
It's the gesture
could have been
counts.
Could have been a little more. That's a lot of.
Gesture.
I mean, that's like there's a lot of guys on the team. Does that go to the 40 man? Does that go to the 26 man? Does that go to the starting? Does that go to the personnel? Who's that going to?
My guess is the 26 man opening day roster plus like probably maybe coaches, maybe like the bullpen coaches. So it was probably closer to. No, you don't think so, Logan? You don't think he got it for like bullpen coaches and shit?
I mean, so you think bullpen coaches, maybe the bullpen catchers? They might.
I don't know.
He might.
I mean, the guys that travel with the team, the ones that
maybe he got them a bottle of Josh.
No,
$12.99 at your local liquor store.
They said he gave special bags to some of the guys he was closer with.
Yeah.
See, that's where I was like, maybe the 15,000 was going to like, okay, you're giving Judge a bag. Okay, that's something. You're spending like $100K on a gift for the whole team.
Well, it's like it reminds me of like wasn't there a year Peyton Manning got all of his linemen like $100,000 watches or something like that?
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. David Robertson's not very happy about this whole thing and how things get divvied up. That's all I know. He's not happy about it.
Still pitching though. D-Rob still pitching.
He is.
Closing games for the Mets.
Could use him right now, actually.
Him and Ottavino blowing saves, getting walked off on like they did today.
Nice.
So, did they? I didn't see that.
Yeah, they got swept by the Brewers. Ottavino gave a walk-off home.
Rizzo said that he learned to, do stuff like this for the teammates back when he was with the Cubs from guys like John Lester and Jason Hayward.
Yeah. Cool. Like, this is great. He's a good teammate. I've always thought he was a good teammate. He brings a different energy. He kept Judge here as well with the dog thing. A lot of a lot of positive things that Anthony Rizzo is doing off the field. And I appreciate him.
If you were in his position and you're worth millions and millions of dollars and you're a veteran guy, what are you buying for the crew?
Wine's nice, Wine's nice. Cigars also nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think a nice.
I mean,
nice,
all of these things.
I'd mix it up. I'd give a little something. Maybe a box of Cubans, some nice wine, and I'd probably throw something in for the family. Just be like, this is not just like your family is my family type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I bet Judge got a doggy bag, no pun intended, for the dog. I would throw some personal touches in there for each of the guys. I wouldn't just go, here's a blanket thing for everybody.
Yeah, I found it, it's like, you're in season, you're trying to stay in shape. You're going with cigars. Like, that's not gonna be good for the lungs. It's like, you're not gonna like that.
So yeah, drinking a bottle of wine. It's
that's also
everything in moderation.
Drinking a bottle of wine is tough too.
Yeah, I mean Mickey Mantle. Okay,
but not everyone on the Yankees has the Mickey Mantle gene.
Well, you don't have to drink the entire bottle. Okay, you have a couple glasses of wine. They have an off day.
You get a $500
drink a glass of wine, smoke a Cuban. This is good.
Get
some Omaha steaks. Some Omaha steaks.
That's what I would give him. I'd give him a box of frozen meat. So did you see? We didn't talk about this, but there was that article published a couple weeks ago. The Yankees don't have Wi-Fi on their flights. Remember that? That headline?
Why don't they?
I don't mind the no Wi-Fi. It's like you want guys focused. You want guys maybe team bonding or just like sleeping. I don't know. But
do we have
no
pods yet?
No pods,
Yeah.
no Wi-Fi, just like whatever shitty movies that you can download onto your phone. It's like watch Top Gun Maverick for the 50th time on Delta. It's like that's what these guys are doing.
I've seen that one time, and it was when we were just where the hell did we go? We just went somewhere, and Colorado. We went to Colorado,
Yeah.
and Bevan and I both watched it. We were like sitting next to each other. I'm like, she put it on right after me. I'm like, you can't be 25 seconds behind me, sitting right next to me.
You gotta sync it up.
We had to sync it. Yeah, it took us a couple times to sync it, but like that was just out of the question first and foremost.
Did you like it?
Oh my God, was that a good?
It's
a great movie.
It's so good.
It's the same thing, but they did it so well. It's awesome.
No, it's much better. It's so.
I
much
was
better
crying like a little bitch at the end of it.
Yeah,
like,
you cried.
Oh yeah.
So, Leanne and I also watched it for the first time on a flight. We were flying out to California last September.
Did you do the same syncing?
Yes, we synced it up. Leanne cried during the movie, and then afterwards, I'm like, "It was awesome, right?" She's like, "No, not really." I'm like, "You cried." If a movie makes you cry, that is a good movie that has struck an emotional chord with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there could be a moment in a bad movie maybe that gets you like, because something else is hit. Like you get a father-son moment. Like at any point that comes in, someone could lose their shit. But yeah, it doesn't take much for me anymore, to be honest.
Oh, you're getting soft in your old age.
But it's all about sentimental things. It's all about sentimental things.
So what part did you cry at?
It was the very end. It was like, it was the very end. Like I don't cry when people die. I don't cry like any of that. Like, but if there's like a moment, or it was like a callback. There's like a good moment to
call back to
some kinship
to the to the dad.
Yeah.
Another thing to note from AAA is Jake Bauers has been off to a hot start. 3 home runs through 4 games. So, maybe a potential call up if the left field situation, because Oswaldo, frankly, has not looked very good at the plate. It's early.
But he ain't getting plucked for Jake Bauers. We all know what's going to happen if Jake Bauers is up here. One of my bold predictions will come true.
Which is?
Bye-bye, Aaron Hicks. Go to the Masters. Hang out. Go follow Tiger.
How much money is left on Hicks's contract? Is it 30 million? Is it or 40 million? Because I think he's got some sort of like buyout at the end of it, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it might be like 3 years, 30 million plus a $5 million buyout or something stupid.
I could absolutely see some team that needs another outfielder. Yankees eat a good amount of the contract. They get some low minor league guy done. Wipe your hands clean. Eat a few $1 million. Couple years, you get a prospect guy, and someone else will use him and a little bit more consistently. I could totally see that happening anytime, at any moment.
Okay.
They don't need him, straight up. They just don't need him.
Well,
you know what that would do too? Jake Bauers, move him up to the pros. Guess who takes his spot in AAA? One step closer.
Jason,
the Martian.
So they don't necessarily need Aaron Hicks, but they need the outfield body.
They need a body. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
they need someone.
Raise your hand if you'd rather see Jake Bauers out there than Aaron Hicks.
Yeah, sure. Fine. I don't care. But Hicks isn't going anywhere for the very reason that Bader's an oblique injury is not something.
Raise your hand if you'd rather see Brian McKinney or Aaron Hicks. Yep.
It's Billy McKinney.
Billy McKinney. Same thing. Yeah. I don't know. I said Brian. I'd rather see Brian McKinney.
Billy's younger and less good at baseball, brother.
Yeah, he's actually playing golf right now. Pluck him off. He didn't make the cut. Put him out there.
Hicks is definitely getting a lot of shit from people. And he's the early season GOAT. That's what I have sensed is that.
Well, he put his foot in his mouth. That's why too. Like you're already there with a lot of fans, and then you open your mouth and put your foot right in it. It's just stupid. Like, he's been here long enough where he knows better than that.
You're 100% right. All he needed to say when asked about his playing time is, all I'm here to do is help the team win, whatever my role is.
It's so simple.
And if you go up there and strike out, fans are not going to probably boo you.
And this isn't one of those moments. So I watched the Reggie doc. I don't know if you guys have watched that Reggie doc yet. It's good. I liked it. It was, I learned some things.
Even though he said that he likes the Astros better than the Yankees?
I didn't catch that. I had it. I was watching the majority of it. I wasn't watching it very closely.
He said something about working for the Astros organization is better than working for the. I don't know.
Look, I appreciate Reggie in the sense that I tweeted this out, that like the guy just does what he wants to do, and he really stuck to his convictions in the way he thought for a long time. I was bringing this back to a point. I don't remember what the hell the point was. Oh, I know what the point was. It was that Aaron Hicks is like, is doing something similar, speaking his truth or his mind, but he's been a bad player when he's given opportunities. Reggie was held back for multiple other reasons, and just he wasn't supposed to talk because of who he was, and he didn't care about that, and I appreciate that. Aaron Hicks, shut up. You've had opportunities.
Just shut up. Yeah, just shut up, dude.
Play. Be thankful that you're there.
Last thing I want to talk about. What do you think of the new MLB app user interface? Have you noticed that they updated it this year?
Yes, I did notice it.
It sucks ass. It's the worst thing ever. It's so clunky. It's so unintuitive. I can't find anything. Why is the text so big? Why is it like I'm a grandfather and I have like bubble text? Like, the lineup won't even fit on my iPhone fucking 12. It's like, dude, I don't need text this big. What was MLB thinking?
Well, first of all, everybody hates new UI immediately. Everybody. It's just a consistent
but this
thing.
One's especially bad.
This one, they've simplified it. They definitely went.
It's more complex. It's harder to find the game feed. Okay, so what I was looking for today was
they've gone to the feed. They've gone to the feed like everybody else has. It's like a For You page.
But what I was looking for was the full game replay, the full game replay from Tuesday's game. Okay, right. I was looking for that. I couldn't find it in the MLB app. Last year, all you had to do was go to the game, click on videos, and it was the first option right there. You want to watch the full game again? Here it is from Yes. Here it is from the visiting club. And you could watch it the next day with MLB TV. Or you could watch the condensed game. Or you could watch the game highlights, or you could watch individual play highlights that they had. Now I couldn't find anything. All I could find is the video highlights of the key moments. I couldn't find even a condensed game. And I tweeted that out. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, it sucks. Bad UI, bad."
Well, I mean, you'll get everybody agreeing with you for a new interface. Like it just every single time anything ever does it, it's the worst ever. People hate change.
I had no problem with the old UI.
So if you go to it, I'm doing this in the moment right now, trying to find exactly what you're looking for. And you do have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the game day feed, all the way to the bottom. And then it says all videos from this game. Because at top, when I click on video, it's giving me
then you're taken off app.
Yeah, it goes to the film room.
And then
I don't even see the full game.
The full game.
I only see the condensed game.
It's the condensed game, yeah.
The full game's not there. It used to be in the app last year.
It's got to be in Watch when you click on Watch on the bottom.
So I had to go to MLB.com and then go to the game from yesterday, and I could find it there on my laptop.
I found it on the app.
Yeah. Where is it on the app?
If you click on the bottom Watch, see Watch on the bottom. And then you click, it's got all the games and it says archive, and you can just click on the game.
Oh, see, here's the problem with that. So you go to, that is pretty easy. It's literally one of the menu options. But, so now you're just trained to do that and it'll be good. But here's your problem. You click on videos. When you click on videos, it gets rid of that menu on the bottom and now it's gone. You'd have to go back. That actually takes you to a completely different pop-out screen. That's the problem. They need to continue that over. If they continue that bottom menu bar into that videos tab, you'd have no issue. Yeah, it's right there. Just hit watch, dumbass.
All right.
You can even watch the Scranton Wilkes-Barre games.
Yeah, how many are you on so far? How many you watched?
I've watched 2. I haven't watched the whole games, but I've watched 2 of them. I hit the over.
Uh-huh. So now you're not going to watch anymore.
No, I will watch them. I like it's there. See, it's like in my face too, which I appreciate. And I will say this:
no Yankees game, watch it.
I will. And when I'm watching it on MLB TV as well, like on a television, very, very much in my face, right there. It's like it's telling me when the game is starting. So they're feeding it to me, which I do appreciate because I want to know.
Did you pay extra for that? Oh no, it's included.
No, it's part of it this year.
It's included this year. Right.
Yeah.
I remember that. All right, that's gonna wrap up today's show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Our previews are rolling on through the weekend because we did so many fucking previews. So I hope you guys are enjoying those as well. I think they came out really well. So keep listening. Any last words, Scott?
Baltimore Orioles. They're not going to be undefeated this year against the Baltimore Orioles. Was this the first? No, I don't think I did that last year either. I felt I had a sneaky suspicion last year that they were not going to happen, which they didn't. So they're a good young team. And I like watching good baseball. It's going to be fun. So we need Gleyber to become the mayor of Baltimore again.
All right. Preview episodes will come out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we will be back at you with a recap of the weekend on Monday. Talk to you guys then.